On May 31st, the year is 2025. A seemingly ordinary day in the nation's capital. But beneath the surface, a political earthquake was brewing. 2025, a year that promised so much change, so much innovation, now faced with unexpected turbulence. The very foundations of power seemed to be shifting. Washington, D.C. buzzed with rumors. A frenetic energy filled the air, whispers echoing through the halls of power. Elon Musk was out. The news spread like wildfire, igniting a blaze of speculation and uncertainty. The city's usual humidity, thick and heavy, felt heavier, more oppressive, as if the very air was holding its breath, anticipating the fallout. Charged with uncertainty. The political landscape, already complex, was now thrown into further disarray. Musk, the tech visionary, the disruptor, Trump's hand-picked reformer, the man entrusted with revolutionizing government efficiency, and head of the department, the ambitious project of government efficiency, a department designed to cut through red tape and modernize the bureaucracy. DOGE, a name that once symbolized innovation and progress, was suddenly on the ropes, his grand vision teetering on the brink. Was he fired, a swift and decisive dismissal from the highest office? Did he quit, throwing in the towel after facing insurmountable obstacles? Or was this a deeper power struggle, a calculated move in a complex game of political chess? His aggressive push, his relentless drive to transform the inner workings of government, to streamline government, to make it more efficient and responsive to the needs of the people, had hit a wall, an impenetrable barrier of bureaucracy and resistance. Of legal challenges, endless lawsuits designed to stall and obstruct his reforms, and political resistance, powerful forces determined to protect the status quo. The alliance, the unlikely partnership, between Trump and Musk, two titans from different worlds, once hailed as a masterstroke, a bold and innovative approach to governance, was fracturing, the cracks widening with each passing day, threatening to shatter the entire foundation. Under the weight, the immense pressure of its own ambition, a vision so grand it may have been destined to fail. Tense meetings filled with heated debates and strained silences, clashing egos, two powerful personalities struggling for control and irreconcilable visions, fundamentally different ideas about the direction of the country, for America's future, a future that now seemed uncertain and unclear, had brought them to an impasse, a standstill that threatened to paralyze the entire government. The dream of a lean, a more agile and responsive government, efficient government, a government that worked for the people, not against them, was fading fast, slipping away like the last rays of a setting sun. Tonight, as the city lights begin to twinkle, we piece together the fragments of this unfolding drama, how this partnership, this ambitious experiment in governance, unraveled so spectacularly, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and shattered expectations. Was Musk, the seemingly unstoppable force, simply ground down, worn out by the relentless pressure and endless opposition? By the system, the entrenched bureaucracy that has resisted change for decades? Or was the system itself, the very structure of American government, unbreakable? A fortress of regulations and procedures, impervious to even the most determined reformers? The answers are still emerging, the full story yet to be told, but the shockwaves, the repercussions of this political upheaval, are already being felt, rippling through the corridors of power and across the nation. In Washington, a city steeped in history and tradition, even the boldest reformers, the most visionary leaders can be swallowed, consumed by the relentless currents of the political machine. By the machine, the complex and often unforgiving machinery of government. The question now is, what will be the lasting impact of this failed alliance, and what does it mean for the future of American governance? Just months ago, the political landscape in Washington, D.C. was shaken to its core. The established order, the norms, the very fabric of governance, seemed poised for a dramatic shift. Trump stunned the nation, leaving both supporters and detractors in disbelief. It was a move that defied expectations, a decision that sent ripples of speculation and anticipation throughout the country and beyond. By naming Elon Musk, the visionary entrepreneur and technological innovator, to a position unlike any other, this wasn't just another cabinet appointment, it was a declaration of intent, a signal that the administration was prepared to embrace unconventional solutions. As secretary, a newly created role designed to tackle one of the most persistent challenges facing the federal government. Of the new, and somewhat ironically named, Department of Government Efficiency, or, as it quickly became known, DOGE. The acronym itself seemed to hint at the unconventional nature of this appointment. Musk, the ultimate outsider, a figure more accustomed to the cutting-edge world of Silicon Valley than the hallowed halls of Washington, was tasked with slashing waste, streamlining operations, and fundamentally reshaping the way the government functioned. And running government, not as a bureaucracy, but like one of his companies, with the same relentless focus on innovation, efficiency, and results. His mission: audit every agency, scrutinize every program, cut redundancies, eliminate inefficiencies, and propose radical restructuring, fundamentally altering the organizational chart of the federal government. Supporters cheered, hailing him as a much-needed disruptor, his data-driven, fact-based approach, no-nonsense approach, a breath of fresh air in the often stagnant world of government bureaucracy. Critics saw, however, a tech bro out of his depth, ill-equipped to navigate the complex political landscape of Washington. DOGE was a super agency, wielding considerable influence and resources, its sweeping powers granted by executive order, making other departments uneasy, and sparking turf wars across the federal bureaucracy from day one. The clock was ticking. Musk promised transparency, a commitment to open government, AI-driven audits, leveraging cutting-edge technology to identify waste and fraud, and a cultural revolution, a complete overhaul of the entrenched norms in the civil service. He aimed to transform the very DNA of government work. For a moment, a brief window of optimism, it seemed a new era, a dawn of possibility of innovation might dawn, bringing Silicon Valley efficiency to the heart of American government, in Washington. Could Musk succeed where so many others had failed? But the Capitol has a long memory, a deep reservoir of institutional knowledge and resistance to change, and a longer list, a veritable graveyard, of reformers who failed, their grand visions dashed against the rocks of bureaucracy and political inertia. Musk wasted no time. He arrived at DOGE with a sleeping bag and a mandate to disrupt. He demanded terabytes of data, launched deep audits, and sent in Silicon Valley musketeers to question everything. His hiring freeze and contract reviews rattled agencies. His push to end remote work angered federal employees. Most controversial, Musk moved to sunset entire programs he deemed obsolete, often without warning or consultation. Protests erupted, and resentment grew within the ranks. The efficiency evangelist was making enemies, fast. The backlash to Musk's sweeping changes was immediate, a swift and powerful response to what many perceived as an unwarranted attack on the very foundations of the civil service. The scale and intensity of the reaction caught many by surprise, and fierce. The initial shock gave way to a determined resistance, fueled by a sense of injustice and a deep-seated fear for the future of public service. It was a battle for the soul of the bureaucracy, and the stakes were incredibly high. Civil servants saw Musk, with his radical vision and disruptive methods, as a demolitions expert, wielding a wrecking ball to tear down decades of established norms and procedures. They feared that his reforms would dismantle essential services and undermine the stability of the government. Not a reformer interested in building a better, more efficient system. They saw him as a threat to their livelihoods and the vital work they performed. Mass firings, the sudden and often brutal dismissal of countless employees, synergy-related headcount reductions, a cold corporate euphemism for job losses, sparked outrage, igniting a firestorm of public anger and resentment. The human cost of Musk's reforms became increasingly apparent, and protests, with thousands taking to the streets to voice their opposition and demand a halt to the drastic changes. The signs they carried told a story of fear, anger, and a determination to fight for their rights. Unions and advocacy groups, recognizing the severity of the situation, filed lawsuits, launching a multi-pronged legal assault on Musk's reforms, claiming Musk's actions violated, in their view, civil service protections designed to safeguard the rights and job security of government employees, and due process, ensuring fair treatment and the right to a hearing before termination. The legal avalanche, a torrent of lawsuits and legal challenges, threatened to halt, or at least significantly slow down, DOGE's reforms, casting a long shadow over the ambitious plans for a more efficient and streamlined government. Before they began, raising serious questions about the future of the entire initiative. Congressional investigations, spurred by the growing public outcry and the legal challenges and emotional hearings followed, bringing the controversy into the national spotlight. With displaced workers, many of whom had dedicated their lives to public service, testifying against Musk's methods, sharing their personal stories of hardship and injustice. The media narrative shifted. The initial optimism surrounding Musk's reforms began to fade. Musk was now seen, increasingly, as an unaccountable ideologue, driven by his own vision, and disregarding the consequences for ordinary people. Unchecked and out of control, a force of disruption with little regard for the established rules and norms. The resistance was, in essence, bureaucratic, leveraging the very system Musk sought to dismantle, political, with members of Congress seizing on the controversy to score points and advance their own agendas, and legal, using the courts to challenge the legality of Musk's actions and protect the rights of civil servants. The dream of a leaner government, once a beacon of hope for many, was turning into, rapidly, a public relations nightmare, threatening to derail the entire DOGE initiative. The system was fighting back with every tool at its disposal, and it was winning, slowly but surely, reclaiming lost ground and pushing back against the tide of reform. The future of DOGE and the government itself hung in the balance. The turning point came with a federal judge's sweeping injunction. DOGE's mass firings and program cuts were frozen, pending a full legal review. The court found Musk had likely overstepped his authority and violated due process. The White House was stunned. Trump was furious. Musk, used to rapid change, was now mired in slow-moving legal battles. His vision for swift reform was stalled, tangled in appeals and hearings. For federal workers, the ruling brought relief, but not closure. The judiciary had checked executive ambition, reminding all that even revolutions must follow the law. The momentum was gone. The revolution halted. Musk's farewell in the Oval Office was tense and brief. Trump, subdued, handed Musk a large golden key, its meaning ambiguous. "A very special key for a very special guy," Trump said, the moment awkward and forced. Musk accepted with a nod, his demeanor reserved. No grand speeches, no warm goodbyes, just a perfunctory handshake. The ceremony ended quickly, the press was ushered out. The golden key felt more like a prop than a token of appreciation. This was not a triumphant end but the quiet close of a failed experiment. As Musk left, the question lingered. Had Washington's bureaucracy proven too much for even him? Later, Musk gave a careful interview, hinting at deep frustrations. "My approach is speed and efficiency. Government has a different operating system," he said. He alluded to disagreements over spending and lack of political will for true reform. Musk's parting shot: technology can fix government, but only if leaders want it. Meanwhile, Trump pivoted fast, announcing new steel tariffs and teasing a major Pacific trade deal. The message: the administration was moving forward, undeterred by Musk's exit. The focus shifted from efficiency to economic nationalism overnight. The DOGE experiment was over, but Trump's agenda rolled on. Musk is gone, but the legal and political battles he sparked rage on. DOGE's future hangs in limbo, its sweeping mandate now severely curtailed. Courts must decide if the president can unilaterally overhaul government without Congress. The fallout: a scarred federal workforce, ammunition for Trump's critics, and a debate over executive power. Will DOGE survive, or be quietly dismantled? Will Musk return to public life, or is he done with politics? One thing is certain: the fight over government efficiency is far from over. The storm Musk unleashed still lingers, its impact yet to be fully seen.